500 million years ago. The microcontinent was situated near the equator. The Western scientists called it Kazakhstania. The structure with almost full list of elements from the Mendeleev table inside its depth. What secrets does Kazakhstan soil have? How rich is it? Natural resources are the history of our land for thousands of years. Yellow gleam of this metal is like shine of the sun. It is able to cloud judgment and drive crazy, or vice versa, can give strength and immense power. It had been worshipped for thousands of years. It is the only metal that is not affected by time. Gold is a sign of eternity. You hardly know that all the gold that had ever been mined on our planet still exists. It didn't lose its luster and importance, but was only changing shapes and owners. And it's not just jewelry, because gold is one of the most important metals in industry. It was so even in the very beginning of human existence. Heavy gold nuggets that were thrown from the belt sling at a wild beast made a hunting of primitive people successful. Yes, our ancestors fired native gold into wild animals. Only few centuries ago, Tungus hunters preferred gold nuggets from local rivers more than expensive purchased lead when making bullets for their hunting rifles. It was not necessary to melt yellow metal to make buckshot and bullets because the material could be casted without heating. In short, technological progress is not possible without gold. Today, this noble metal is used in electronics, aerospace and healthcare industries, and it is the only metal to guarantee economic stability of any state. The price of gold has been steadily high for already 6,000 years. Every year, near 3,000 tons of gold are produced globally, and every year this volume increases, while the number of places worldwide where people have not searched for this precious metal yet decreases. Betpak Dala, hungry steppe that was immortalized in songs and tales of nomads, seemingly barren and waterless wasteland, stretches from deep Sirdarya River to Blue Balkhash Lake. Until 70s of the last centuries, few people attended this vast and desolate plain with its desert landscapes of rare saxol, salt marsh and small hills. Only desperate human can conquer such a harsh land. Dubek Dyussenbekov, geologist, searcher, professional. People say he had a specific sense of gold. For 35 years he had studied Betpak Dala and discovered more than a dozen of gold deposits. He could spend days and weeks in these endless steppes. It was long believed that Betpak Dala was not prospective. It would have still been an uninhabited hungry steppe if Dubek hadn't been so stubborn. According to his words, he had researched Betpak Dala centimeter by centimeter. He followed the trails of gophers that made holes and scraped the gold-bearing quartz to the surface. And his projections were always accurate, and he proved that this steppe is crammed with gold. It turns out that Jibek was accurate in his geological calculations, was also a hopeless romantic. While exploring native land and slowly studying every hill, he liked it so much to sing folk song in the distant steppe. Akbakai is one of the favorite songs of geologist Jibek Dyussenbekov. Once, he found pieces of gold-bearing quartz near a mouse hole, discovered a deposit and called it Akbakai.
Он хорошо пел, у него такой был бархатный бас, между баритоном и бас. Вот красивый был голос, пел вот эти вот казахские классические песни средней.
He was good at singing. He had such a deep bass voice, something between the baritone and bass. He had a beautiful voice. He sang classic songs of central Kazakhstan.
И Akbakai из любимейших песен было у него.
In general, more than 100 fields were discovered in Betpak Dala. 50 to 60% of these deposits bear the names of Kazakh classical songs. Lailim, Yaburai, Kargash, Inkar, Karakisek, Karatorgai. These are not only the names of the songs, but also the names of gold deposits of Akbakai group. Many of them have not been explored yet. Meanwhile, this group of deposits is recognized as a unique one and holds first positions in the world based on its metal reserves, as well as concentration of gold in the ore. Just imagine that it equals to 5 grams per ton. According to geologists, Akbakai gold was formed in the Paleozoic era. Now bare steppe is here, but 400 million years ago, this place was literally a boiling heated magma that made its way from the depths of the planet to the upper layers of the Earth's crust. This is how the gold-bearing veins appeared. Thanks to it, Akbakai became the richest underground storeroom, and today it is the basis of raw material base of Akbakai cluster. To compare, the all-body area has the same square as Balkhash Lake.
Қазіргі таңда бізде негізінен
Today, if comparing with other fields, Akbakai, which is developed through the underground method, is different from other mines because of more efficient technology of development. It differs by physical and mechanical structure, by accessibility to gold, and by concentration level of gold in the ore. Therefore, this mine is on the first position for us. Akbakai Deposit is unique because of different mines that can produce up to 6 kilograms of gold per ton of ore. Ordinary mines produce from 5 to 20 grams, while even the presence of 3 grams per ton is considered as cost-effective for the state. Akbakai cluster consists of hundreds of fields. Many of them have not been developed yet. 3 major mines are classified as existing fields. One of them has the open pit type. It is called quarry. Other 2 are mined using underground method. They are Beskempir and Akbakai, which is the largest one. Here, all bodies are represented by thin quartz veins. Concerning resource base of the enterprise, Akbakai reserves are about 30 tons of gold. Beskempir field reserves are more than 10 tons of gold. The reserves of quarry field is about 2 tons of gold. Thus, the available fields will allow to continue extraction for the next 10 to 15 years at least. Depth of the quarry field is 75 meters. The pit can easily enclose 17 football fields. So, Akbakai Gold and Silver Zone is included into 10 richest clusters of Kazakhstan.
Образец горной породы месторождения Акбакай.
Sample of mountain rock of Akbakai field is biricide ore. The majority of the gold extraction has a free form, that is up to 50% in quartz vein and up to 40% in the biricide in the form of grains. The main ore minerals are gold, pyrite and arsenopyrite. Chalcopyrite ore is rarely seen. Failera and galena. Gold content is more than 1 gram per ton of ore in all quartz veins. There are from 0.2 to 50 grams of gold per ton of ore in biricide rocks. To extract precious metal, hundreds of thousands of tons of rock have to be dug up. Auto dumper is the main assistant for miners. Such car is able to carry up 40 tons of ore to final destination at once. But before the rock mass is put into dump trucks, mark shaders will start to develop quarry. A team of specialists makes measurements of deposits, schedules work plans and strictly monitors compliance with the technological regime. Our department's mark shaders make topographic surveys. This is a survey of the current situation with the quarry. All bodies are marked with blue color. This is geological model of quarry. Then comes the turn of geologists, because only they know the secret which underground waterways have gold veins. Generally, gold is closely connected to the sulfur compounds of non-ferrous metals and related minerals, as well as their oxidation products. Most often, the noble metal can be found in the chalcopyrite, pyrite, galena, brown ironstone. But the most faithful companions of gold are silver and quartz. Therefore, most often, gold is found in quartz veins. Quarry field is developed through open-pit mining. This ore deposit belongs to gold-quartz sulfide formation. And this is a 3D model of quarry field, where experts mark gold-bearing veins. Here is ore body with an average grade of 1.7 points. Things marked with blue color. This model is the ore body, and everything that is planned for 2017 is marked with red. This is a projected quarry. I can show it. Red marks are rich ore bodies, and green ones have low gold content. After determining all measurements, a demolition team starts its work, and it requires a precise calculation how much explosive is necessary for the current mine, and at which depth it must be put. Open-pit method is used only if the precious metal occurs close to the ground. Development of such quarries is more profitable. The quarry field produces 1.9 million tons of rock mass per year. 30,000 tons of ore are extracted per month. There are 120,000 rocks in quarry. In general, monthly capacity is 160,000 tons of rocks containing ore. But more often gold lies fairly deep underground. Closed-type development is used to mine it. Mines with an extensive network of tunnels that lead to deposits are created. Everything is automated in this underground labyrinth. There are access to oxygen, carbon dioxide sensor control, pumping of groundwater, and special exit in case of emergency. Production is performed by pots. This is a method of sublevel drifts. They do not have direct access to the Earth's surface and lie on a horizontal plane and extend along the strike of the ore body, each drift called a horizon. because the mine rocks are quite strong, so it is also mined with explosives. At the moment, work on Akbakai Field is being done at the depth of 4 meters from the surface. Also, at the same time, additional exploration is done at a depth of nearly 6 meters. There is nothing you can do without a professional eye of geologist. Only they can find gold ore by several signs.
Sizge көрсетейін, бұл жерде міне қазан міне алтынның нағыз шоғы.
Let me show you a place where gold is really concentrated in quartz.
Осы маңайларда міне
It can be called a fertile rock. These are places where gold is.
осы жерлер міне көрініп тұрған жер.
These lines are marks that were made by geologists. And along these lines, we take tunneling and we're drilling deeper.
Ары қарай жүре береміз. Біз шамамен
We move straight like that about 200 meters. Here is a piece of quartz which is taken away, and we're checking its weight.
салмағын
Color is whitish and bluish.
светі ақшылдау,
Here is biruzite ore among them containing gold.
березит руда бар міне арасында міне. Бұның бәрі құна ішінде міне алтын бар міне.
The gold deposit of native ores of Akbakai has form of inclusions inside quartz and other minerals. You cannot see the presence of gold with naked eye. These inclusions have their size of poppy seed, and even less. To extract this valuable element, firstly it should be released from the pile of waste rock, and this is one of the most difficult tasks of the mining industry. Therefore, production is measured in tons of ore in which the gold is not visible.
Алтынның құрамы осы тау-кен жынысында граммына, тоннасына 3,5 грамм көрсетеді бұда. Сонымен қатар
Content of gold in the rock is 3.5 grams per ton.
бізде қазір 9 квадрат.
Now, the work is going on the area of 9 square meters.
Мына жерде қазір тұрған жерімізде 2 метр
Here,
көлемінде
where we are standing right now, according to our calculations, the amount of up to 2 square meters contained gold.
құлап кеткен ғой. Бұл жерде 43
After drillers drill 43 blast holes, explosive will be placed there later.
жарылыс жұмыстарын
Accuracy is very important.
келіп мынаны
The depth of each hole is 2.7 meters.
екіде
Each recess is drilled in accordance with the passport.
ол да өзінің паспортына қарай сәйкес бұрғыланады.
The process of extraction is technically difficult and requires a lot of physical labor. For getting to the gold mine, sinker drills network of holes where the necessary amount of explosive will be placed. The main thing is that the shock wave has to be accurate, exactly within the square that geologists marked. Otherwise, the shaft can be simply filled up, and that's how day by day the battle for the metal goes. Mining operations are conducted through mechanized way, with the use of advanced, underground self-propelled equipment. Such method increases the annual performance of the field at times, and improves the working conditions at dangerous areas. And this is rotary drilling rig of percussion action that is one of the representatives of the dungeon. This giant runs about 200 meters and exports more than 20,000 tons of ore per month. Once the drilling machine finishes its work, a self-propelled loader bucket and tip equipment arrive. Fragments of rocks are transported to the ore pass. Further, ore is lifted to the surface through the main tunnel. And finally, gold ore is loaded to the wagons. It looks like the usual dray pile of rocks, where nothing is like gold, but that's just for now, till the moment all the stuff will be brought to the gold extraction factory.
Мына тұрған біздің осы жер Ақбақай кен орны болып есептеледі. Бұл кен орны
The place where we are now, called Akbakai Deposit. Here mining started in 1969. The main mine face is behind my back. As you have seen, all ore goes from this main face. 900 tons of rock are brought to surface every day.
Тәулігіне есептегенде 900 тонна тау-кен жындысы осы басоқтығымен шығады.
Akbakai кен орны бойынша мысалы болашаққа келешекке көз жүгірте отырып айтатын болсақ, мәселен бізде қазір айтып отырмыз, біз соңғы
If you look forward to our long-term planning, Akbakai deposits will be enough till 2030.
шығардық, көрсеттік.
But this plan applies only to the already discovered reserves of Akbakai.
Кен қоры бойынша жоспарланды.
Perhaps we will conduct further exploration in the lower horizons of the mine. During these studies, we probably will be able to see that the ore bodies go further into the depth. Because gold-bearing vein is not end in the mine, where now it is extracted. In other words, vein goes further. All of these have a geological explanation. So, if we continue to conduct additional exploration, Akbakai mine may serve us not until 2030 as we are looking forward, but even up to 2040 and 2050.
Арғы егерде жүргізген жағдайда барлау жұмыстарын, онда тағы да кеніштің болашағы, мәселен 2030 емес, 2040, 2050 арғай табылғанша жүре беру мүмкін жұмыстар жалғасады.
Akbakai mine is almost 50 years old. These miners have made dozens of mining for half a century, and every meter that was reclaimed from the dungeon is a feat of labor, which takes place every day. But perhaps all of these would never have happened without professional skills of geologist Jibek Dyussenbekov, who discovered Akbakai gold cluster. The memorial museum named after Dyussenbekov is open today in local school. It was named after the man who breathed life into these harsh, boundless depths.
В 2014 году в нашей школе открылся музей.
In 2014, our school opened a museum in honor of the discoverer of Akbakai gold deposit, Jibek Dyussenbekov. Jibek Dyussenbekov made the country to be the richest one in terms of reserves of the precious metal. His passing was quiet, but he himself was satisfied that the motherland is secured by gold reserves for many years. The capacity of Akbakai gold belt is very high. Up to date, there are 8% of fixed reserves and 16% of probable reserves of gold in Kazakhstan. According to experts, the total reserves of Akbakai are estimated at 300 and 350 tons and amount a quarter of the reserves of the whole country. This figure can be greatly increased through the development of geologically poorly studied areas of Jambil region. Indeed, there are more than hundreds of gold deposits and occurrences in this region, which had been recorded by the discoverer of Betpak Dala gold, Dubek Dyussenbekov.
Начиная от Чу до Жезказгана, это примерно 700 километров, и шириною.
There are 700 kilometers starting from Chu to Jizkazgan, and the width is 200 kilometers. He made a map. He walked on foot, knew everything there, and he made forward-looking map. 700 kilometers to 200 kilometers. He believed that this whole area is completely stuffed with gold. Only discovering and extraction are needed. In general, he said, there is enough gold for 6 centuries, in case of correctly production.
На 6 веков хватит. Только если грамотно добывать.
Akbakai, Peskinpur, Dumanshuak, Svetinskaya, Kenji and Aksakal. This is only a small part of dozens of fields that have been discovered by Jibek Dyussenbekov, a man who once believed and turned hungry steppe to gold one.